Hello, I'm Pam Hoffman, Everyday Spacer.
I'm Jeff Miller, 2049 Outfitters.
At Everyday Spacer, we show regular folks how to personally and directly participate in space exploration, science, and astronomy. We're here on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Pacific Time, 12 midnight Eastern Time, and 1 p.m. on Saturday in Hong Kong. We're broadcasting live from Thousand Oaks, California for now. Big old storm overhead. We're going to do our best. If the lights stay on and the Wi-Fi keeps working, we'll be here for you.
Yeah, I don't know if it comes through the microphones, but you'll occasionally hear a lot of wind. And in between wind, you're going to be hearing Conejo Falls.
Yes. All right, so tonight we are doing a profile of Jeannette Piccard. We'll be back in 8.3 seconds. Jeff takes the lead tonight, and he's sharing some of what we learned about Jeannette Piccard. She's the first female balloonist who was licensed and who reached 50,000 feet. That is into the stratosphere. That was in 1939, and after that,
1934.
1934. You're right. And then subsequently, she became a NASA consultant. We want to thank Brooke Edwards because we found out about Jeannette Piccard a few weeks ago when she was on our show and talked about her blog. That was January 20th, and we went to the blog and we saw something about her. So we did some digging. Jeff, share with us some of what you learned.
Okay. Well, first off, this is Brooke's blog, and this is where we started on the rabbit hole of finding out stuff about Jeannette Edwards.
And it's wild because I had no idea about who this was before this, and I don't think you did either, Jeff. Did you?
I'd never heard of her before.
No, I never had either.
But Brooke's very into steam, and so Jeannette Piccard was the first woman to have a pilot's license for a balloon in the U.S. They not everywhere says that, but in some places it said in the U.S.
Okay.
So that to me implies that there's probably some in Europe that, but then of course we had the first man into space. So of course it was the first U.S. man into space because that's the way we roll.
Yuri Gagarin was the first.
Yes, I know.
Of course, to me, it's all space. We just want to travel there.
Right.
Proceed.
Okay. So she reached 57,000 feet, which 10.9 miles, which is like upper bands of the, like mid stratosphere.
Yeah, it's like 7,000 to 60,000, right?
Right. Yeah, it's pretty far up there.
And we have some nice charts that have kind of, and there's actually no distinctive line between these places. It's kind of a range.
Right.
So,
although
in the atmosphere.
Right. Although, and it varies from place to place depending on.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess if you're on a mountain.
Yeah.
It would be closer than.
Yeah, and things, just things move.
Oh, I see.
A high pressure zone will bump things up, that sort of thing.
Oh, I see. And the sun probably has an effect too, right?
Mm-hmm. I would guess, yeah. I'm not a meteorologist.
Right.
So.
Oh, hey, Cliff.
Hi, Cliff.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us. So glad you're here.
Yeah. All
right.
So this is all from her blog, and this was a really good starting off point. But there's so much more out there. Some sites that Brooke did not list in her blog. So
hey, we got a comment, and Scott, you make a really good point. We will talk about that shortly. Her name sounds familiar. Makes me wonder if a certain Star Trek captain was named after her. We found out a little bit about. That's probably the inspiration, and interestingly, her husband is. You'll hear. Oh,
yeah. Well, and then it's not like I'm gonna ruin the plot or anything,
no.
But her husband's name was Jean.
Right.
Was is French, and Jean Piccard, which yes.
Yeah. Hey, David, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Oh.
Mexico City. I think that's the first we've gotten from Mexico City. So glad you're here.
Yep. In the same time zone, I think, as us. So not too late for you.
Not sure.
But
Tell us what time zone you're in, David.
um, yeah. So it talks about this. Basically, Jean's twin brother. There's
That's
a
her
lot
husband's
of
twin brother.
yeah. Her twin brothers flew in the balloon first,
Okay.
and actually achieved a world record.
Ah.
And
Okay.
then Jean wanted to go up with a lot more instrumentation
Oh.
and do some science up there, because
That was his interest in doing ballooning.
Yeah, he's the science geek. His brother was actually well known in the ballooning.
Okay, what was his brother's name again?
Auguste.
And just in case you want to know, we looked it up. Jean-Luc Piccard's brother is named Robert.
Yes.
Character. It's a character in Star Trek.
Yeah.
In case you don't know.
So so we were looking to see if they paralleled that completely, but no.
Did they go there? No.
So Jeannette wanted to go, and she needed to get a pilot's license, a balloon pilot's license to do it. And so she became the first balloon pilot.
Cool.
Licensed balloon pilot in the U.S.
Okay, female one, because it sounds like
first
the
female.
brothers would have been.
Oh, they were already licensed.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and Jean had no interest in actually flying the balloon. He wanted to look at the scopes and stuff.
That's okay.
But
hey, Dawn's here.
Hi, Dawn.
Hi, Dawn. Yep, great topic. We are so excited to bring her to you, because she is a very, very interesting person.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Yeah. They couldn't get funding for it because National Geographic Society, well, they say that it was mostly because she was a woman. The National Geographic Society would have nothing to do with sending a mother in a balloon into danger. That wasn't their only reason, but it was probably a sufficient reason for them. They'd also funded, just the year before, they'd funded a flight, and they had a flight going the year after. So they were kind of tight. They had their funds tied up, but
okay. So they had commitments elsewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, let me get back to. Here we go.
Yeah, and this is just stock photos in
Okay.
here. But so Henry Ford then stepped up. Now, he's not the only one who stepped up. We found out the wiki article, which I'll show you, shows two companies that are no longer exist anymore. But they sponsored her and didn't mention Henry Ford at all, which is interesting. But
yeah, they didn't really talk about the balloon trip very much, did they? Did they mention it finally?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they kind of have segments in Wikipedia and.
Right. And what I'm going to be telling you is basically a combination of a bunch of them, because none of them had like all of the info. Brooke did a pretty good job of pulling together a bunch of info and getting it pretty balanced. But there's a lot more.
She really likes to write too. And part of what we are doing here is to bring you enough information that you can go out there and get the links in the chat and everything, so that you can continue to learn as much as you would like.
Yeah.
About Miss Piccard.
Yeah, we'll put the links in the chat, and we'll put them in the description after, for the, because sometimes the links don't always show up in the chat.
Yeah, I think we can leave it in the comments, especially on YouTube and in Facebook. We can put comments on Facebook too.
Yeah, so I'll put that together for everyone afterward.
Cool.
But they, so they ended up moving from Strathmore, Pennsylvania, which is where they were, to Henry Ford's Dearborn.
Oh, wow.
And there was an airport there at the time.
Sense. Yeah.
Because Henry Ford was also building airplanes at the time.
And he was in Michigan, right? Detroit, Michigan?
Detroit. Well, Dearborn, which is just north of Detroit.
Got
it. In fact, he still has this plant there. In fact, one of the sources here is the Henry Ford Museum.
Oh, cool.
So I will be showing you that. A lot of interesting stuff in their article on it.
Very good.
But Henry Ford really supported them a lot. They wrote to him as just in desperation of trying to find someone to fund this. and
Mhm.
he said, come on down. He actually had one of his balloonists give her the lessons to
Oh
get
wow.
her license.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
and I can see definitely how um, Henry Ford would be interested
oh yeah,
in doing this and being
yeah, he
being
was
supportive.
very into, all kinds of transportation.
Cool.
Um,
Yeah.
and the fact that she was had the guts to do it, probably just that probably did it for him too,
Oh, okay.
because
He wasn't too worried about her being a mother.
um, in fact, that would just made it more of an
Mm.
accomplishment to
Oh,
him.
I see.
He just, yep. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of Henry Ford, but that's me. Um, so they talk about. She talks about them going to um, the Henry, the Ford plant. It's a 500,000 um, cubic foot hydrogen filled balloon. They sealed themselves in, and boom. Oh, Jeannette and Jean and their pet turtle, Fleur de Lis. Oh, and here's Something Outfitters and Gunrow Radios. Those were the two other sponsors.
Oh, so it wasn't just Henry Ford and okay.
Yeah. In fact, found out from a different article that Dow, which actually made the metal of this thing,
Mm-hmm.
um, basically told them to remove Dow's name from
Oh.
this because they didn't want to be associated with sending a woman into danger.
Mm-hmm.
This was 1934, so
Mm.
and this was before World War II, when once all of the guys were off to war, the women had to work in the plants.
Mm-hmm.
So this was before that. This was,
Mm-hmm.
before they realized that, hey, yeah, women can do this sort of thing too.
Yeah.
We were a bit behind Europe on that.
I can believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
Nice picture of them.
mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
Yep. Yeah, I've got some other pictures too to show too. But okay, I said 57,000 feet, 57,579.
To be precise.
Yeah. Yeah, about 10.9 miles.
Yeah, I think most of us understand feet a little better from airplane
Mm-hmm.
rides.
Right.
And
but,
what's 40,000 is a normal
yeah
jet.
Yeah.
Traveling like across the United States,
right.
basically.
Yeah. So they're high. They were higher than modern airline.
Right.
And basically about the top of the range for the Concorde, because the Concorde flew higher than airlines. They flew in thinner air.
But it came much later than
Oh yeah.
1934. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Even jetliners came much later than that.
Yeah.
But so they flew out of Dearborn and touched down firmly at Cadiz, Ohio.
Any landing you can walk away from is a
Yeah.
good landing.
They were able to walk away from it. The balloon, not so much.
Mm.
That pretty much ended that gondola.
Mm.
I do like the
line. I do like the line there. Her record was only broken when Valentina Tereshkova became the first female to fly to reach space in 1963. So for decades,
mm-hmm.
she was the highest. Why don't we know more about her?
Yeah, and so, and after this, well, they don't. She doesn't talk about it here. Later on, became a NASA consultant. From like 64 to 70, she was a consultant for the assistant director of NASA.
Okay, Jeannette was.
Yeah.
And you're talking about Brooks' article when you mentioned this. Okay.
Yeah, and 1974 she she became one of the first female Episcopal priests, part of the Philadelphia 11, which were basically 11 women ordained there. Mm-hmm. And she was ordained first because she was the oldest one.
Ah, okay.
And the bishop tried to talk her out of it, and she said something about about she's been wanting to do this since before that bishop was in nappies. So
Oh,
in
here we go.
in this is the where did they put this? I have it somewhere, but
Well, it should be right underneath there. Yeah, Chicago,
okay,
Illinois.
Chicago. Okay,
So
Chicago
did
Museum
did
of
they
Industrial Science.
reconstruct it because it doesn't look like it's?
No, it's well, probably they painted it up some,
Oh, okay.
but it probably has seam bursts that aren't really visible.
Mm.
You know, it's not structurally sound anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But here it is.
Kind of looks like a bathysphere that you would put into the ocean.
Yes.
Of course, you're going up there. You absolutely need something.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
breathe.
In one, you're keeping the pressure out. Here, you're
Mm-hmm.
keeping the pressure in.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's this. And here are some articles, and I'll get to those right here. This is a lot of her information came from this article right here. So this is just more of the same, just a little bit more detailed than Brooke went into. So you know this is good. This is a different picture, you know, from the same flight. This is the Henry Ford Museum, and this is now this is much more interesting than the first time I saw it because I hadn't rebooted my browser yet, and so none of these pictures showed up. But this has a lot of really interesting stuff, and I'll definitely have this link in the comments.
Oh, great!
And
so it sounds like you can delve quite a bit further into this than even you did for today's show. Okay.
Yeah. In fact, I mean, Henry went out of his way for these guys.
Mm.
He thought it was a grand adventure, I suspect.
Well,
they don't say
it was.
Here.
I mean, 1934. Wow.
Yeah. He even sent the truck down to haul it from Pennsylvania to his to his plant. And you know, it has the letters that Jean sent to Henry to looking for support, and letter from Jeannette to Edsel Ford regarding the upcoming stratosphere balloon flight.
Nice.
Yeah. And they've got some of the instrumentation. This is the antenna used. It's the radio receiver. Well, not a lot of the instrumentation. But...
Oh, we got a question. David says, why use a woman for this mission? Ooh, good question.
Because she wanted to. That was mainly it. They talked about, she was asked why she didn't hire a pilot. And she says, along the lines of, she trusted herself more than someone that she would hire.
Oh, okay. And Scott says the air must be very thin that far up. Sounds very dangerous. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as you could see, it was very much a enclosed.
Yeah.
gondola.
They basically took their own air up there because, yeah, you dive really fast.
Yeah, even fighter jet pilots will have oxygen when they get.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly how high it is.
Well, okay, just from being a pilot, I can tell you that that above 12,000 feet, that's the cutoff is 12,000 feet.
Oh, okay.
You must either be in a pressurized airplane or the pilot must have oxygen. It's not dangerous, but you will get drowsy and fall asleep.
Oh, that could be dangerous.
Yeah. And so the pilot has to have oxygen or it has to be pressurized.
And any commercial flight that you go on, a 737, that kind of thing, the interior is pressurized.
Oh, yeah.
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 So not the baggage area, though, I think, right?
It depends on the airplane.
Oh, okay. All right.
But yeah, so that's, it also gets fairly cold up there. Although the stratosphere is an odd place because as you go higher in the stratosphere, it actually gets warmer.
It's still not very warm, though. What did you say it was?
Like 40 something Fahrenheit.
Yeah. Of course, out here today, kind of like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. You got more stuff for here we go.
Yeah. So, basically different school groups, colleges and stuff visited during the prep of the balloon flight.
Neat.
This was big deal. In fact, Jeannette made some money by selling brochures and, and all kinds of stuff, badges, basically any of the tchotchkes that you could think of
So
now.
did they take them up, and then when they brought them back, sold
No.
them as they?
No,
Because
they
that's
just,
kind of a thing you see now, like
Yeah.
what do they call it? First something of the stamps and.
no, this was all prep stuff.
Oh, so it was
before.
in advance. Okay. So,
Yeah.
Okay. But still, that would have been an interesting, heritage for the
Mhm.
tradition.
Yeah. So, bunch of stuff. Here's a photo that I don't think I've seen anywhere else. In fact, I believe that that's Henry.
Oh.
It's very small here, but I'm pretty sure that's Henry because he just stands the way Henry does.
I see.
My grandfather knew him, so
Mm.
Yeah,
he worked.
I've seen a number of photos of Henry.
Your grandfather worked at the plant, right?
Yeah. And so this is the balloon ready to launch. Some shots of it. These are the clouds below the balloon.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And this is where it ended up in Cadiz, Ohio.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that is. Dawn, do you know where Cadiz, Ohio is?
Yeah. And they actually have a dedication marker where the Ford Airport used to be.
Oh, cool.
About the flight.
Nice.
Yeah. Here we get this article from New Mexico Museum of Space History. Has a lot more detail about her.
Oh, okay.
Born in 1895, January 5th. One of two identical twin girls.
So they were both twins?
Yes, they were both twins. She was a twin and he was a twin.
Wow.
Her father was a well-known orthopedic surgeon, which I don't know how. I guess it just means that they had the money for her to get involved in all of this stuff.
Certainly for the degrees. I mean, she's got, the bachelor's there.
Yeah. Bachelor's in philosophy and psychology, and a master's in organic chemistry. And then later, she picked up a PhD in education from University of Minnesota.
And I think there was something even after that, right?
No, that was.
Oh, that was it? Okay.
Yeah. Well, and then she became an ordained priest.
Oh, okay.
But
very accomplished person. Awesome.
Yeah. She got her PhD in education 1942. So the war was just starting to.
And this is after the historic flight. Okay.
Yeah. They moved to Switzerland after their marriage in 1919. Returned back to the U.S. in 1926.
Daniel says, "Can I start a rumor that the Piccard couple were actually the first and founding members of the Mile High Club?" I don't know. How long was that flight? Do you know, Jeff?
I don't. I mean, there are dates in there. I didn't do the math on the dates.
And I have a feeling Jean was probably more interested in the instruments.
Yeah, me too.
Because it's a limited, flight up and back.
Yeah, and it was also a shorter flight than they expected.
Oh, right. You were saying.
Yeah. So, as the first one to fly, they've received a lot of publicity. A lot of people pulled out of any kind of financing for them, but Henry was there and a couple of others came in. So there's a little bit more on here. Just basically, this is the only place where I really saw what her life was before all of this stuff.
Okay. What's the graphic below? Is that an actual, like...
Oh, no, that's
it's just part of the website.
Yeah,
okay, I thought that might have covered
no
some of where they went and how high and how long and stuff.
No. They do have something in the wiki.
Okay.
And here is just has a few more photos than I saw before. Like I hadn't seen this one before.
It's a good shot.
Yeah. She's happy. He's looking very earnest.
She's not on the ladder, so it's easier to tell their heights
Yes.
compared to each other.
Yeah, most times like this one, she's always higher than he is.
Right.
And
so Dawn has Cadiz is close to Steubenville, southeastern Ohio.
mhm.
Awesome. Thank you, Dawn. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, apparently she was really bummed out because she was hoping to land on the White House lawn. A lot in the wiki. The wiki doesn't really talk about Henry Ford at all.
Oh.
They mention it that she flew out of there.
Okay.
But it doesn't talk anything about how much he supported them. Oh, this is Roger.
Oh, hello, Roger. Thanks for joining us. When you say broadcast from, we're here in Southern California, and we're just in our house. We're just in our apartment.
Yeah.
It seems you're the first time commenting here. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah.
And feel free to catch the replay.
Yeah, because we do announce where we're from at the beginning,
Yes.
top of every single one.
Right.
Thousand Oaks, California, by the way.
Yeah, we're near Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, you see, the wiki talks more about everything else but the flight, although they do mention the flight.
Well, it's a typical Wikipedia page, basically, with the different segments and.
Yeah. When she was 11, her mother asked her what she wanted to be when she grew up.
Roger says, do you associate with Fraser Crane? You know, I used to be one of the journalists on the Weekly Space Hangout for approximately 2.5, 3 years, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Roger. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. So Jeannette wanted to be a priest and sent her mother running out of the room in tears.
Oh, dear.
So the fact that she got ordained and, in
lifelong interest finally did it.
Yeah, finally browbeat people into doing it. It was my guess.
She did a lot of things that weren't very common for women. At that day.
Well, and that's just it. She's probably a good inspiration in a lot of ways. I mean, the planning. Oh, here's they're talking about it, and they talk about her planning in the pilot's license. She studied at Ford Airport in Dearborn, Michigan, under Edward J. Hill, a balloonist. And Henry Ford offered the use of his hangar.
When you're ready.
Oh,
I got a couple more comments when you're ready.
Okay.
Jeff.
And brought Orville Wright and his brother Wilbur to basically observe a flight in 1933, a test flight. And talks about her son Don, who was a crew member that day of that test flight, and later it was really jazzed that Wright paid attention to him.
Comments?
Okay, sure.
Okay, Douglas, thanks for joining us. I think he's got to go. It's probably late where he is. And Roger, you're asking about the Weekly Space Hangout. The very last episode, they devote part of the beginning to that very question. Yeah, he says sleep. That was what my questions were leading up to. Yeah, they do talk about it pretty extensively. I don't feel the need to go into it here, so check it out. Check out their last episode.
The one nice thing about this wiki article, it does have a lot of other background information and stuff.
Oh, cool.
They leave a lot out, but I guess they're not a fan of Henry Ford.
Oh.
But,
you mean the wiki?
Yeah.
Oh, and Roger comes back. I wanted to see it become a monthly space hangout. Okay, I'll just real quick. The person running it decided she wanted to not run it, and so that's what they did. They supported her in that decision.
Yeah. So Auguste wrote to Jean, and Auguste is Jean's brother. Hopefully you will make your flight ahead of other competitors. It would be nice if the name Piccard through Jeannette would once more be placed on the record list of FAI.
Oh, thanks, David. See you too. Bye.
Yeah. So, I mean, Jean's brother apparently wasn't concerned that she was a woman. He was just concerned that she was a Piccard. because their family was a big name in ballooning.
Ah, okay. Oh,
And,
Roger says their show was too early in the afternoon. Yeah, I get that.
mhm,
Depending on where you were in the world.
yeah. So here they talk about more of the search for funding, and the two that did it was the Grisby Grunrow Radio Company, the Detroit Aero Club, and the People's Outfitting Company were their backers. And you notice they don't mention Henry at all.
No. Huh.
And Henry was a big backer of theirs.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a map of
Oh, there we
where
go.
they began and where they ended up. And like I said, she was aiming for the White House lawn.
Roger says in our show's too late. Well, thanks for being here.
And,
Where in the world are you, Roger? That's funny.
and here are some good indicators of roughly where things are. 0 to 12 kilometers is the troposphere, i.e. what we live in and breathe.
Mm.
Stratosphere is 12 to 50 kilometers. And then mesosphere and thermosphere.
Yeah, there's quite a few. Roger says, I want to see you combine shows. And Cliff says, but I'm still here. Yay. Oh, Roger again. Possibly on the third Friday of the month.
Well, it is in the middle of the afternoon for
Must
Cliff.
be a good
Yeah.
Friday for Roger.
Yeah.
Yes, it's tomorrow afternoon for Cliff because he's in Australia, Roger.
Yeah. So, and here it talks about, Jean, what she did after Jean died, stuff. Gilruth asked Jeannette to work as consultant at NASA. She accepted and spoke to the scientific community and to the public at NASA about the space program from 1964 to 1970.
You
when
know,
Project Apollo was created.
I think we should have a show about her. I mean, we've got that hidden numbers. Why not do something like this for,
Oh
for
yeah,
Jeannette? That'd be really cool.
yeah. That would
Anybody
be,
out there in movies?
Yeah.
What can we do about that?
Yeah, I'd
Yeah,
watch
oh,
that.
I would too.
And they talk about her being ordained, and she wasn't the last one ordained. It basically started
Mhm.
started it. And here are her honors. So the wiki does a pretty good job of showing a lot of this stuff. Posthumously inducted into the International Space Hall of Fame in 1998. She died in 1981.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Just over 40 years ago. Okay.
yeah. And they speculate that Roddenberry named Captain Jean-Luc Piccard after Jean Piccard, but no proof, but that's fine.
Okay, Roger comes back with all space considered on the first Friday of the month, a show on the third or fourth Friday would be awesome. I see. That's what's going on there. Yeah. Thanks.
Don Piccard, their son. Okay. They do mention somewhere some of the things that Don did.
Yeah, there's a link for him at the top where it says children, including Don.
Right. Yeah. Now here is something that if you want a really deep dive, Wiki has a lot of references.
Oh wow! Yep.
And a lot of sources.
That's a rabbit hole, all right.
Yes. So, yeah, women's altitude record from 1934 to 1963, succeeded by Valentin Tereshkova.
Wow. Preceded by there's a name we can look up, Maurice Hilsov.
Yeah.
Hills.
In an airplane.
Aviator. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yep. Okay.
Now you had, I know you have a picture from the book, right?
Yeah. This is another indication of troposphere, stratosphere, and it's a little bit, 7 miles to 50 miles is the stratosphere, which this is a little bit squishy in math, but
And just so you know, it comes from this book by our friend John Powell, and he talks about Airship to Orbit.
yeah, floating to space
yeah,
is the name of
there's
the
some really
book.
cool stuff happening. Northern California.
Yep.
And that's why I wanted to include this, because it does have these, because the stratosphere sounds like it's very high, but there are other layers above that in the atmosphere that are considered. What's the last one there? I see?
Oh, that's the video. Let's show the video.
Oh, good. Yeah. Okay.
You've got it in.
And just so you know, there's no sound to this. So if you want to tell the people about what you're seeing, Jeff.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. All right. Ready? Here we go. It's very short, though. It's about, what, a minute and a half?
Yeah, a minute and 3/4. Yeah. So this was a newsreel. No sound. And very exciting beginning.
Well, that's possibly how they were back then.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, this is directly taken off of the.
So that must have been all of the gas that they put into the.
Yeah, and this is the launch.
That must be.
The kids, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's the crowd.
Was this very early in the morning?
It looks like.
And you were telling me before that she released too much of the ballast too quickly or something, right?
Yeah. I think
a story there.
They got greedy. Yeah, someone offered them $1,000, which would have been a lot of money back then.
Yes.
To break the record. And so very early on, she dropped all of the ballast.
Oh, all of it. Okay.
Yes. And so they had essentially no control. Also, the fact that it was kind of stormy and cloudy meant that Jean did not get all of the data that they wanted. So it was and here's after it came down. So this is all once it's on the ground.
Yeah, cameras back then probably weren't good enough to capture anything so high up, right?
They probably didn't want the weight.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, even from the ground.
Yeah, and the camera would have taken up a good bulk of the volume of that.
Now that thing looks really small, or is that just crunched or something?
No, it's fairly small.
Oh, it is, but they would have been inside of it, right? Because to breathe.
Remember that one shot here? Let's see if I can find the shot.
Oh, we got a comment too. While you're doing that, I will go. Oh, okay. The PBS show Car Talk with Click and Clack. Awesome. What? I don't know where that's from. I do know about that show though. Thank you, Roger.
Here, I'm looking for the.
Tell me when you're ready.
There we go.
I'll share screen. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Well, this picture shows we've seen this hatch in a number of them. This is them compared to that hatch.
Yes.
So that's them basically filling up essentially the entire hatch.
You're right.
It's not that big. You know,
it still looks bigger than the end of that movie that apparently it crashed.
Right. But here, let's see. Where do we have? Oh no, here it is. Sorry, folks. I'm just zooming this stuff. Somewhere she has the shot in the here we go. See this hatch, which had two people in it?
Yeah.
This was probably standing room.
Oh, okay.
You know, maybe a little bit taller than standing room. Mm-hmm. And couldn't lay down, I would imagine. Yeah. They were probably sitting or squatting or standing the entire
so this was a shorter flight than they expected. So
yeah,
probably would have gotten uncomfortable after a while. And that's scroll down a little bit. Where does it say it is?
Chicago Museum.
So if you're in Chicago, you can go see this. If you want to go to Chicago, it looks like a good place to go and look at this.
Yeah.
And that would be an easy way to see, you know, how big is it really compared to.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have more?
No, that was it. The video was the last I had.
Okay. Very cool. Well, I think she's a very interesting person and very, very accomplished. And we really should know much more about her in the world. So, yeah. Get the word out there, folks.
We've got some stuff here. Let's see.
Yeah, no, I've got, just one of them. The last one there.
What about the PBS?
Good, Bob. Yeah, I showed that one.
Okay.
Well, thanks. We're just regular folks. All right. So in the next segment, we talk about some stellar events this week. We're talking about February 24th through March the 3rd. On the 25th, Uranus and the Moon are in conjunction. However, you will not see it tomorrow night because it is very, very stormy here in Southern California.
They might see it where they are.
Maybe. Well, Uranus will want binoculars.
Yeah.
February 27th is the first quarter moon, and Mars and the Moon are in conjunction. On March the 2nd, Mercury and Saturn are in conjunction, and Venus and Jupiter are in conjunction. I want to show this.
Oh, you'll be able to see all of those.
Yeah, I think this is a really cool shot of how this is going to go as the planets come together. I found that from, what does it say, BBC. It's too small for me to read here, but hopefully you can get that on Facebook. I found it on Facebook. They had a website, but it had a big thing that just as soon as I was trying to look at it, it blotted out. It's like, I'm not going to share that one. But that should be pretty neat. And then we're back to March the 3rd, Friday night show. We have another guest. Find us Fridays at 9 p.m. Pacific time on the Everyday Spacer Facebook page and the Everyday Spacer YouTube channel. Yeah, we got more, right?
Yeah, Roger again. Great showmanship. Well, thanks. And I'm causing less chaos than normal. Yeah.
We very much like to include our audience.
Yes.
It's more of a conversation, and we're very, very grateful for you being here, because otherwise we're just talking at you.
Yeah. And this is about everyday spacers. So
yep,
that's you guys.
Yep.
And us.
Regular folks doing cool space stuff.
Yep. Yep. So we want to hear what you guys have to say. And
yep. Absolutely. That's what we're all about.
Every once in a while we try an open mic night where we give out a link to the studio, but apparently StreamYard is not really good for that. Especially not going
We may
over
try
the
again
water.
someday. Yeah. It was hard for the people in Australia. Really enjoyed coming and talking, and they had a lot of trouble getting. It was a bandwidth thing. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, the early shows they went really well.
Yes.
But then it started getting really bad. Yeah.
They were our guests on our show.
They were some of our earliest guests.
Yep.
But then it became really laggy.
Yep. But it's good practice for space travel, because that's going to be a time lag when we talk to each other between here and the moon, here and Mars, moon and Mars, wherever you go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. It's trying to find a VR environment version of Zoom. Interesting.
Oh, wow. Talking about bandwidth, though. Wow.
Could be. All right. You want to go on to our next segment?
Yes.
I will help you out.
Okay. Other events and activities. Found out about something new this week. And
No, that was last week. Sorry.
Oh,
I should have pulled that.
Yes, good. Because
it's live when?
This looked familiar to me.
Yes.
Thought it was just me, though.
Go ahead and tell them.
Great Orion Dark Sky Festival.
Sounds neat.
Yep. March 16th through 19th, 2023 in Panamint Valley, California.
It's somewhere in the Southern California area.
Okay. And we've got a link for that. I don't know.
We've done that before. Check out previous shows. There is some information about that. Talk about this one because it's almost over.
Oh, yeah. Design a spacesuit for ESA, European Space Agency. It's almost due, February 28th. So ESA is calling for creative minds to envision what a European spacesuit should look like.
The mind reels.
Yeah. How's a European space suit supposed to look any different from anyone
that's
else's?
a European cut.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm just.
Oh, and Roger comes in with it's a bit more fun for everyone than chat boxes. And I'm not sure what chat boxes means. Help me out. All right, that one.
Oh, okay. Satellite 2023. This is March 13th through 16th, 2023 in Washington, D.C. It's a live event. The passes are free.
Well, you can
get a free pass.
You can get a free pass for the, what do they call it, the room with all the vendors.
Symposium or something.
No, with the vendors.
The dealer's room.
The dealer's room, yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And we have put this in past shows. So, whoops, that one's over. Let's go to the next one.
Oh, good.
I'm keeping track of some of these for like next year. Oh, thank you so much. Doing great. Okay, thanks. Let's see. Oh, this one. This one's
Oh,
good.
March 7th, Google Doodle
This
contest.
is when it's due. March the 7th. It is due by.
Yep. K through 12 students in the U.S. and its territories. I don't know why it's limited like that. Maybe there's a prize involved and they don't want to get into
Don't know.
shipping or anything.
Yeah, but Google is doing a Google Doodle contest.
Yeah. The due
For
date
kids.
is March 7th, and they have rules. Go to their website.
Yep, very important when you enter a contest. Follow all the rules. That's the very first thing they will eliminate you by. Oh, this one's nope. They didn't do it right. Out it goes. Out the airlock. No, no questions asked.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's good.
Yeah. Next Generation Suborbital Researchers Conference, NSRC 2023, is
Soon.
in the Omni Interlaken Hotel in Broomfield, Colorado. It's February 27th through March 1st, so pretty much next weekend.
Oh, Roger comes back. Chat box. What you're communicating with through? Oh.
Oh, yeah. Well,
So
he's in a chat box, and we're.
Oh, I see. On YouTube. Okay, you're writing in the chat. All right. Thank you. All right. Let's see. I think I wanted to let everybody know about the one more. This one here.
Oh, yeah. 6th round is running for nominated student with perseverance. Closes March 1st. Awardees announced March 14th, and given their current trend, there will be a 7th round soon.
Could be. Yeah, this is cool though.
They were supposed to have 4 rounds, and now they're on round 6. So
right.
Yeah, it's for 6th through 8th grade students in the U.S. public, private, or home schools, and they've got some pretty interesting awards.
Yeah, let me go ahead and take some more comments here coming in the chat box. Yeah. All right, I get it. I thought it was like a platform or something like that. And Cliff says, the internet is getting too full of Netflix and stuff like that, taking up so much bandwidth since COVID, and we don't use any of that. Yeah. Sorry, Cliff. With any luck, it is clearing up for you, though.
I don't know if you can hear it.
It's coming loud.
Down. Yeah, it's coming down like Cliff was in California and bought a telescope.
Yeah. Very crazy. Nope, let's skip that one. Oh, okay. So we'll keep watching for your comments for a little bit. But I am going to tell you that if you or someone you know has done something interesting involving space exploration, science, astronomy like that, we would love to share our life. Join us again next Friday, though, March the 3rd, and help us welcome Manalo from Pattaya Glamping Eco Retreat. I'm going to read a little bit of it from their website. Pattaya Glamping Eco Retreat is a certified sustainable tourism destination by the Puerto Rico Tourism Company, located in Cabo Rojo, a region on the island's southwest coast. Pattaya Glamping is the first glamp site in Puerto Rico. I am so excited to hear from Manalo. So tune in for with us next week. That's next Friday. And we have some more comments.
Well, and the reason why we're talking about this is because they do astronomy there.
Yes.
I mean, it's not just, this isn't turning into a travel log show. They do astronomy there. So that's...
Well, and part of it is, too, we want to bring as many different things to you to show you how you can get involved with it somehow.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And David Renecki does, does events like this. And if we could get good feed from Australia and its surroundings, that'd be interesting to see while he's doing one. But we just haven't been able to get really good.
We could list him on our group, though, because we don't mind talking about anything in the world and beyond.
Yep.
As long as it's something you can do. Yep. All right. So Dawn says, great chat. See you next time. Yep. Thanks for joining us, Dawn. I know it's very late for you. And Roger, thank you so much for being here. People call it chat. Where are you, Roger? Maybe you want to be a guest on our show. All right. We're going to do a shout out. Dawn, Roger, Cliff. Whoops, here it is. 23 degrees tilt, of course. Yes. Who else was with us? I know Scott was here. And I said Cliff, right? David Perez. Douglas Cateras. Cateras. I'm not sure. How was that? Dan's my neighbor down the street. Dan Tweet was here. I think I said Scott. Thanks so much. And I think we hit you all. Thank you very, very much for being here.
Oh,
We
yeah.
really appreciate you. Oh, Roger, you're in Los Angeles too. We're in Thousand Oaks.
Yeah.
We're not too far away.
We could throw a baseball.
Almost. Yeah.
Yeah. Cliff. Got 2 days of clear skies first in the year. Well, that's because it's been raining here. You sent all your rain here.
Yeah. It's very, very rainy here.
Yeah. But, this being Southern California, we could use it. So
Always. And they're kind of cute here. They call it liquid sunshine. Being from Ohio, it's just rain. So.
Yeah. I just want to see if they keep trying to convince everyone that we're in a drought. I mean,
Hey, after 10 days of no rain in Ohio, they call it a drought. So
yeah.
I don't
But
know.
if this keeps up, we're going to see a big ship floating by with a bunch of animals on it.
All right. Anything else from you?
No.
I think I'm good. Folks, have a really great week. And we will see you next Friday with another guest. Good night.
Good night.
Gotta find the button. There it is.